you will often be shown equations that look like this. These equations are common in the real world, as they help us figure out things like the side length of a square when we are given its area, or the trajectory of a ball when we throw it. These equations are called quadratic equations, and they only have one unknown in them. In these examples, the unknowns are x, k, and p. When they are expanded, they have a squared term in their unknowns, but don't have any powers higher than 2. We can start our study of quadratic equations by looking at the first example. Solve the equation 2x squared minus 1 equals minus x. So what is the question asking? When we are asked to solve a quadratic equation, we simply have to find the value of x, which makes the equation true. There are several methods to do this. The most reliable is the quadratic formula. So using the formula is our plan. But what is the quadratic formula? The quadratic formula is a rule that allows us to solve any quadratic equation. Given that the equation is in its general form, which is shown here, the quadratic formula looks like this. Now we can carry out the plan by using the formula. First, and to make sure our equation is in the general form, we need to put everything on one side of the equal sign, leaving just a 0 on the other side. In our example, 2x squared minus 1 equals minus x. The easiest way to do that is to add x to both sides. 2x squared minus 1 plus x equals minus x plus x, which gives us 2x squared minus 1 plus x equals 0. Next, we order the terms in decreasing order of the power of the letter. That is, we put the x squared term first, then the x term, and then the constant. Now, we must compare this equation to the general form of the quadratic equation. To do this, we write both of them one above the other. By comparing these two equations, we can see that a is equal to 2, b is equal to 1, and c is equal to minus 1. Once we have that, we need to substitute these values into the quadratic formula, which is x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. What a mouthful! Since we know that a equals 2, b equals 1, and c equals minus 1, we can write which equals. Now this double negative becomes a plus, so adding these terms gives. Now the only step left is to produce the solutions. Since the square root of 9 is 3, the quadratic formula gives us. Because of the plus and minus sign, we have two possible solutions. One when we add 3, x equals minus 1 plus 3, all divided by 4, which means x equals a half. Or when we subtract it, x equals minus 1 minus 3, all over 4, which means x equals minus 1. By doing the calculations, we arrive at our two solutions, x equals a half or x equals minus 1. To check that these answers are reasonable, we can just substitute these values into the original equation. 2x squared minus 1 equals minus x. And check that the left-hand side of the equation equals the right-hand side. Now, try it!